सद्गुरु प्रसाद। राग गुजड़ी अंतकाल जो लक्ष्मी सिमरे, ऐसी चिंता में जे मरे। सर्प जोनी वलवल अवतरे, हरि बाई गोविंद नाम मत बिसरे रहाओ। अंतकाल जो स्त्री सिमरे, ऐसी चिंता में जे मरे। बेसवा जोन वलवल अवतरे, अंतकाल जो लड़के सिमरे, ऐसी चिंता में जे मरे। सुकर जोनी वलवल अवतरे, अंतकाल जो मंदिर सिमरे, ऐसी चिंता में जे मरे। प्रेत जोन वलवल अवतरे, अंतकाल नारायण सिमरे। ऐसी चिंता में जे मरे। बदते त्रिलोचने ते नर मुक्ता, पीतंबर वाके हृदय बसे। This is a line from the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, beginning at page 526. These are the words of Bhagat Trilochan Ji or Sant Trilochan Ji. Then Guru Arjan Dev Maharaj Ji, while he was in his human form, gathered a number of words and banis of various saints in India and around India at that time. One such saint's bani, which is found in the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, is of Bhagat Trilochan Ji. In this bani, Bhagat Trilochan specifies as to the state of mind which determines the next birth or the next state of the soul at the time of death. The state of mind at the time of death is very, very important for the determination of the position and the destiny of the soul, where the soul would be finding its way back into human form, or whether the soul would still have to remain in the soul and the bodiless form for some time, or if the soul would be sent to the hell, or if the soul, if it's elevated, would be elevated with the souls of saints, or if the soul, if it has during the lifetime as a human has done wrong or bad deeds, whether it would be given the form of some kind of an animal. The Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji's teachings initially started from the teachings of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita was recited by Guru Nanak Dev Ji also, Sri Guru Harkrishan Ji also, and Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji also felicitated a number of saints who were very proficient in the Bhagavad Gita. This concept of Bhagavad Gita's teachings has to be distinguished from any professing of any idle form of worship, which Sikhism is not inclined towards. The teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, the good aspects and the practical aspects of the entire Bhagavad Gita find its place in the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, along with the good and the acceptable aspects of the Holy Quran and even other scriptures. Now after I explain this, I will also take you all to the exactly similar lines at chapter 8.5 to chapter 8.7 of the Bhagavad Gita. The state of mind is very, very important in determining of what the next birth is going to be. This depends on the daily activity of the human beings. When a person is in a particular trade, for instance, suppose a person is a musician, morning to evening he will think about music, he will think about various tunes, and naturally at the time of death, in the subconscious mind, he will be thinking about it. Similarly, if he's a cobbler, he will think about his trade. He's a lawyer, he'll think about how to defend, how to attack the case, how to attack the opponent, or how to make defense for his client. Similarly, if he's a warrior, he will think about his own profession. So, as a person is occupied in his or her profession, is the way in which the person keeps thinking. The habit becomes character, and the character becomes the nature of the person. And that nature is there until you die. So at the time of death, if your nature is prevalent in a particular state of mind, that itself will determine how the soul is going to take shape in its future when it's going to leave the body. So what is professed is, both in Hinduism as well as in Sikhism and even in Islam and Christianity, that one should always remember God. Remembering God automatically neutralizes or takes away the effect of any kind of worldly deeds. So at the time of death, when you remember God, automatically the soul is left in the hands of God, and the Almighty then takes it to its logical or the best possible destiny which is determined for the soul. Remembering the Almighty is very, very important in day-to-day life. So a person who remembers the Almighty in day-to-day life naturally will remember the Almighty when he is going to expire. So we will now explain the words followed by the similar lines of Bhagavad Gita too. What Bhagat Trilochan says at page 526 of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. अंतकाल जो लक्ष्मी सिमरे ऐसी चिंता में मरे. अंतकाल जो लक्ष्मी सिमरे ऐसी चिंता में मरे सर्ब जोन वल वल अवतरे. It means that at the time of death, when you are leaving your body, one who thinks of wealth and dies in such kind of thinking, he takes usually an incarnation, an avatar in the form of some kind of a being like a snake who will be incarnated, or some kind of a being where his wants are never satiating. For example, a saint in Hindu religion is specified as a being on the treasure. It's always on the guard on the treasure, never wanting to spend the treasure but still on the guard of the treasure. A person who is so greedy, he always acquires the form of some kind of a reptile, some kind of a snake, and he is so clinged to worldly thoughts that he takes rebirth in the form of some kind of a being which has got a long life, for example a snake, for example a crocodile. So what Bhagat Trilochan over here says is, Amtakal jo Lakshmi simre ऐसी चिंता में मरे सर्प जोन वल वल अवतरे. He shall take incarnation again and again in the form of serpents or such beings. It will not be necessarily serpents, it could be any other being. In Hindu religion as well as in the Sikh school of thought, we have the concept of 84 lakh species, 42 lakh on earth and 42 lakh in water. So any kind of species which will represent a kind of a rebirth again and again will be awarded to a person who keeps attached to worldly desires and greeds. Then Bhagat Trilochan says, Ai bai Gobind naam mat bisre rahao. Then he says, Ari bai Gobind naam mat bisre. It means, oh sister, meaning it depends on the sangat who was there at that time, whether it was a lady who was sitting with him as his devotee or a brother who was sitting with him as a devotee. Over here he says, oh sister, let us not forget the name of the Lord of the universe. It takes me to one more important line of the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, where it states, Bisar nahi datar apna naam deho, gun gawa din raat nanak chawai ho. Guru Nanak prays to the Almighty that his name, the God's name, is never forgotten. And day and night, in every breath, he remembers the Almighty. And this should be the blessing which everyone should sought for from the Almighty. Simro, simr, simr, sukh pao, kal kale stan mahi mitao. Simro, the contemplation and the ever remembrance of the Almighty whenever you are working is very, very necessary. Then Bhagat Trilochan says, Antkal jo istri simre, aisi chinta mein mare, Vaisya jon val val avtare. This refers to those people who are lusty, those people who are engrossed in lust, who are engrossed in lusty desires of the opposite gender. These kind of people, who are at the time of death also, their thoughts are so polluted that they keep on thinking of lust. So these kind of people could be born, have the potency to be born, like or in the form of some being which is engrossed in lust, or maybe in a human form, in the form of either a concubine, either a prostitute, or either a man or a woman who is prone to this kind of thinking. And this is very natural, because at the time of death, when you think of this kind of a polluted thought in your mind, naturally the next birth or the next condition of the soul would be such and inclined to such kind of a thought. So automatically the person is reborn, or automatically the person gets the form of such kind of a being. अंत काल जो लड़के सिमरे, ऐसी चिंता में जे मरे, सूकर जोन वल वल अवतरे. What it means is, the person who at the time of death thinks about his children, thinks about his son, thinks about his daughter, these kind of people, who think about the children, they will be incarnated again and again in some kind of a species who are known for having a lot of children. For instance, a pig, for instance, a dog, for instance, any kind of a animal or a bird which has got several children, which has got the habit of giving several births at one point of time. It could even be underwater, where the eggs get hatched. That's the reason how a person is awarded when he thinks at the time of death about his children, about his future of his children, or about his children, about his son or daughter who is very attached to them. अंतकाल जो मंदर सिमरे, ऐसी चिंता में मरे, परेत जोन वल वल अवतरे. Over here, mandir does not mean the temple. Over here, mandir means his own house, his own bungalow, his own property. These kind of thoughts which are prevalent at the time of the death of a person, specifically the industrialist class, who keep on thinking about their properties, who keep on thinking about the immovable properties. What happens is, their souls then start residing in these kind of properties, immovable properties like bungalows, and they continue to reside over there until and unless finally the Lord Almighty pardons them, gives them again a human form, or progresses their soul. Many times you will find that in many bungalows, in many old havelis, in many old bungalows, there are talks that a person's soul is still residing. The concept of soul in the form of pret, the concept of soul in the form of any kind of a supernatural, or a person or a being with supernatural spiritual powers, for instance a pret or a ghost or a spirit, are well founded and accepted in all scriptures, be it Hinduism, be it Islam, be it Sikhism. Kait Kot Bhoot Pret Sukar Mrigaj. In Sukhmani Sahib, Guru Arjan Dev Maharaj says, Kai Kot Bhoot Pret Sukar Mrigaj. There are many forms of ghosts, spirits, goblins which are there and which find place in this universe of the Almighty. Antikal Narayan Simre Aisi Chinta Me Jay Mare Badat Lochan Te Nar Mukta Pitambar Vake Hriday Base. What it says is, what Guru Granth Sahib Ji says is, what Bhagat Rajan over here says is, that man alone who thinks of the Almighty, who is engrossed in the contemplation of the Almighty, and this shall develop with our daily practice of remembering Almighty, even when we are working, even when we are doing our normal work. For instance, Bhagat Sen was actually a Kasai. He was a butcher, but he could attain God, because while doing even butcher work, he used to remember God. Finally, after some time, he left the butcher work and he got engrossed in the name of God. So people, even who are in deeds which require some kind of a sin, even those people must remember the name of God. So because at the time of death, when you remember and contemplate the name of God with proper intention, automatically you will remember the Almighty. I know of some of the people whom I know who expired. One of our people who expired was remembering the Guru Granth Sahib Ji by heart. He used to recite Guru Granth Sahib Ji 2 to 3 hours a day. Many of the banis were on his lips. In state of semi-coma, every morning when the doctor used to visit him, he would not talk, but automatically the bani used to go on reciting from his mouth. The doctors and the nurses used to get stunned. So this kind of a person, naturally when he expired, had the bani in his mind. So that bani, that name of God which is there, takes the person towards the final destiny of salvation and towards the final progress of the soul. What happens when the soul departs? When the soul departs for a few days, say 10 to 14 days, it is next to the body. After which the Almighty determines the state of the soul depending on his deeds that he has done. The soul, in fact, itself is habituated. The spirit itself is habituated to all the deeds it has been doing when it is in human form. Guru Granth Sahib says, Bhai Parapat Manuk Dehuriya, Gobind Milan ki e teri bariya. Bhai Parapat Manuk Dehuriya, Gobind Milan ki e teri bariya. Means that once you are born as a human being, you are under obligation to take the name of God, because you have been born after a number of births and given this human form. And if you forget the name of God, you are actually scientifically ill-treating the soul and permitting the soul to be reborn or to be punished again. How आया दूरों चलके मैं तक्की तो शरणाई जियो, मैं आशा रखी चित में मेरा सबो दुख गवाए जियो. It means how आया दूरों चलके. दूरों does not mean walking from far, meaning it is you have transmigrated from various forms, from the form of maybe a bird, from the form of an insect, from the form of a crocodile, from the form of a horse, and then you have come in this back in this form. And when you are in this form, you are supposed to take the name of the Almighty. In Rehra Sahib, Pancham Patshahi Guru Arjan Dev Maharaj says, Bhai Parapat Manuk Dehuriya. Bhai, brother, Parapat, Prapti, meaning you have got. Manuk, Manuk means human form. Dehuriya means body. Gobind Milan ki e teri bariya. At this stage, when you have been born as a human, you are supposed to remember the name of God. That is why this human form is given. Now we will come to strikingly similar lines which are found in the Bhagavad Gita by Sri Krishna when he gives the discourse to Arjun at the battlefield of Kurukshetra. When Arjun says that he may not fight the battle because there are a number of people who are his friends, who are his relatives, who are his teachers, who are his elders. At that time, this particular Upadesh, which I recently stated from the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, appears in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 8.5 to chapter 8.7 of the Bhagavad Gita. I shall recite in Sanskrit. अंतकाले च मामेव स्मरण मुक्त्वा कलेवरम य प्रयात स मद्भावन यात नास्त्यत्र संशय यम यम वाप स्मरण भावम त्यजन्ते कलेवरम तम तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भाव भावितः तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु अनुस्मरा युध्या च मयार्पिता मनोबुद्धिर्माम् एवैष्यास्य संशया. These lines are strikingly similar to what Bhagat Trilochan Ji said in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji as compiled by Guru Arjan Dev Maharaj Ji at page 526 of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. What it says is, Antkale, at the time of death, and when you are thinking about a particular aspect, at that particular moment, you will be in such a position that you will have to give, or you will have to be responsible for giving the final destiny to the soul based on what you are thinking. Chapter 8.5 means, those who relinquish the body while remembering the Almighty at the moment of death will come to Him. There is certainly no doubt about this. Then it says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhava tejante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhavita. It means that whatever one remembers, whatever one contemplates while giving up the body at the time of death, O son of Kunti, when he tells Arjun, one attains that state, being always absorbed in such contemplation. It means that what I had previously said, when you are working on a day-to-day basis, that is your nature, that is the nature you become. At the time of your death, that determines, because you are in continuous contemplation of that kind of a form, of that kind of a thinking, of that kind of a way of thinking. For instance, if you are aggressive, if you are continuously thinking about killing somebody, you may be born as a lion, you may be born as a tiger, you may be born as some kind of a form where you don't have much senses, but only vengeance in your mind, only hunger in your mind, These kind of thoughts determine your next birth. Then it says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu maam anusmara yudhya cha mayarpita manobuddhir maam evasya saya sanshayam. It means that as and when a person works, for instance, when Arjuna is a warrior's work is to fight a war. He cannot compromise on the destiny of the enemy. He cannot have any mercy on the enemy when he fights. He is doing his duty. And while doing his duty, he has to do everything which the duty requires to do. So at that particular moment of time, even then, even such kind of people who are in such kind of trades and professions, for instance, a police officer, even then he has to do his duties properly, but he has to remember the name of the Almighty. And those who are even doing their work in such a way, while doing their duty, they are remembering the name of the Almighty. Even those people come back to the Almighty. There is no doubt about it. Na sanshayam, that is what it means. This is what I have attempted in making the comparative analysis of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji as well as the Bhagavad Gita, because Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji absorbs number of good and beneficial discourses from all religions, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity and various other religions which were not very known to us, which are not very known to us today, but at that particular moment of time, many schools of thoughts prevailed. So, the message in this entire discourse is that the time of death determines the soul's destiny and as to how the soul would be treated by the Almighty and His forces when it leaves the body. So, a daily nurturing of the soul is necessary, a daily contemplation of the Almighty is necessary for attaining and going back into the Almighty's fold. वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।